Training OnlyFans chatters is not very fun. That's why people are so fast to just palm it off the moment they feel they can and wonder why their chatters are so garbage. I've spoken with countless agencies about how they train their chatters, and I always see the same mistakes that people don't even realize they're making. So here are the 5 most common chatter training mistakes and what you can do to fix them. Starting off with mistake 1, and this is one of those things where it's simple to fix, not easy to fix. Giving your chatters delayed feedback. This is what most agencies do when it comes to giving their chatters feedback, if any at all. Chatters will do their shift. They'll have shit performance. They then get yelled at the end of their shift for everything that happened on their shift. Oh, you made no money, you're a terrible chatter. Fuck you, you're fired, I'm hiring your cousin, whatever it is. Now, yelling at your chatters is one thing, but the real issue is that the feedback is delayed. If you've ever had a puppy and you've tried to teach it how to sit, you push it into sit, give it a treat, sit, give it a treat, and you keep doing that until it learns. Now try doing that by going sit, walking away for 5 minutes, coming back and giving it a treat. The puppy is never going to learn how to sit. But if you do it instantly, sit, treat, it'll learn very fast. Now I know what you're thinking. My chatter's IQ is not comparable to that of a puppy. And you may be right, but what is true is that if you can make faster corrections, you will have to make less corrections. One of the reasons that our chatting team has been so successful is that we have really focused on nailing that feedback loop. As soon as we could, we put managers on every shift that can make corrections fast. This is how we're able to take on more chatters and scale quickly because they get fast feedback loops. The second they make a mistake, correct it. The second they start doing the right thing, reinforce. That is what you need. The shorter the time between when a chatter does something and when they get feedback on it, the faster they will learn. Let's say you're giving your chatters feedback once a week. See if you can change that to once a day. That will be slightly better. If you're giving chatters feedback once a day, so once per shift, whatever, try to move it to once per hour. If you're already giving them feedback once every hour, checking in on them, try to move it to every 10 minutes or get someone who can do that for you. It makes a ridiculous difference in how fast chatters get better. If you're expecting to just yell at them once a week and they start learning, you're wrong. Faster feedback. Which brings me swiftly on to mistake 2, which is trying to teach chatters everything at once. Probably one of the most common mistakes I see. Something frustrating that you just need to accept is that humans are very easily overwhelmed, especially when they have lots of information coming at them at the same time. Let's go back to our puppy example, right? So if you're trying to teach a puppy to sit and you just teach them sit, until they can sit, they'll learn to sit pretty quickly. Move on to the next. But if you're impatient and you try to teach a puppy sit and roll over and lay down and stay and shake and fucking ride a surfboard, whatever it is, they're just gonna stare at you blankly and go chew up a shoe. Chatters are the same, kind of. It sounds counterintuitive, but you need to teach them less. But it's all about teaching the thing that actually matters. And the tough part of that is that each chatter has their own biggest constraint. The one thing that is holding them back from making more money. And it's your job to figure out what that is. Let's say we have Lucy last name, our fake chatter. She's really good at selling stuff when she's in selling mode, but she doesn't know how to uphold conversations with fans. They all leave her on red and she never gets to the point where she can make a sale. For her, the biggest constraint would be upholding conversation. Only work on that until Lucy last name can uphold conversations better. Stop correcting her fucking welcome message or her fucking, you know what I mean? Like, stop telling her all these different things. Like, I don't like how you said that. I don't like that you tried to sell this video instead of that video. They're gonna learn nothing. And I'm not saying those things aren't a problem, but you need to deal with the biggest problem first, move on to the next thing. You could have another chatter that's really good at keeping up conversation, but they cannot sell for shit. There's no point saying to that chatter, oh, you need a faster reply time, like get faster. They just need to know how to close a sale. This gets difficult when you have chatters that are pretty terrible at everything. That's why when you're hiring, you need to think about picking your problems. I always say, I'm not an English teacher, because if you're reading through chats and you're having to correct like that grammar's wrong, the punctuation, whatever the fuck it is, that's gonna be the biggest constraint, but it's probably a waste of time. So when you're hiring, pick chatters with less problems, would be my advice. You need to be analyzing the chatter's constraint weekly. Now, whether you do chat reviews, you have a manager doing chat reviews, you need someone who can pinpoint what that thing is that needs improving so you can start working on it accordingly. Just remember, the less information you give them, the faster they will learn them. By making a course for your chatters that's fucking 100 pages long, you're not a good teacher. You're a good teacher if you can just go, okay, we need to fix this thing, and once we fix this thing, you're gonna level up. And once we fix the next thing, you're gonna level up again. But I'm not gonna try and teach it all at the same time because it doesn't work. Rant over. Which brings me on to mistake 3, and this will definitely annoy some people. And that is only watching the numbers when it comes to your chatting team. I'm a huge nerd. I track everything. Yes, numbers are super important, crucial. You won't succeed in any industry without them. You need to analyze data. But numbers do not tell you the entire story. Whichever way you spin it, chatting is a form of sales. Let's use the example of a high-ticket closer. Yes, you would track data on them. Their close rate, how long it takes them to close, their average deal size. All very important, but if you really want to understand their strategy and how to improve them and what they can fix in the short term, you need to make observations. Some things just can't be tracked on a spreadsheet. Numbers will show you the long term, much better than observations, 100%. But observation will show you the short term. I talk to so many agencies that are so opposed to looking in the chats that they don't even know their chatters' names. They just stare at spreadsheets all day. Yes, I fucking like spreadsheets too. But a spreadsheet won't tell you if a chatter could have sold this guy a $500 custom after selling him this video. A spreadsheet won't tell you if a chatter got left on red by this person because they said something dry. Yes, over a long enough time frame, you will see these things add up. But you need to review the game tape. Treat them like salespeople. Watch how they do things, compare it to the data, and make your adjustment. I find the best way to go about it is to compare your data with your short-term observations to make your decisions. Changes in your strategy, which chatters to keep, which chatters to fire, what you should be teaching your chatters. Here are some things that I would say are better to actually observe. Are opportunities in the chats being spotted? When a big spender comes on, are they seeing that and capitalizing on it? When an opportunity comes up to sell maybe a custom or something else high ticket, are they doing that? How many no's are turning into yeses? How are they doing with objection handling? Are your chatters being left on red all the time? Saying things fans don't know how to respond to? That's a problem. Are different sales strategies being used, or are they using the same scripts or videos or pictures, whatever it is, every single time? Yes, the numbers will tell you this on some level over a big enough time horizon. But in the short term, you need to be looking, making observations, or you're gonna miss them. I hope you're taking value from the video so far. If you are, I would love it if you just quickly leave it a like. It helps me out a lot. I drop videos like this multiple times a week, so if they help you, consider subscribing. Share it with your friends, and if there are any videos that I could make to help you with a problem that you're facing, leave it in the comments and I'll try to get to all of them. Thank you. Mistake 4, not taking the time to build an agency culture. This is what hiring chatters looks like for the majority of agencies. They look through a Telegram group chat, find some VA, make a group chat, go, can you speak English? Cool. Here's a Word document on how to chat. Here's a page, make money. A lot of agencies don't even talk to their chatters on a voice call the entire time they're with them. They isolate them from other chatters, essentially just treating them like a VA. Nobody cares about a VA job. This chatter probably has 5 jobs with 5 agencies. They don't care about any of them. They definitely don't care about you, your agency, your models, your goals. They don't give a fuck. It's easy to have a group of VAs. You can get 5 VAs in 33 seconds. If you're happy with that, that's fine. But if you want cold-blooded killers that want to improve and constantly make you money, you need to put in the effort to build that culture that attracts people like that and keeps them. You need to focus on building a culture of improvement where it's fun to work. It's not easy, but it takes doing things like this. Welcome chatters to the team. Do introductions. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you want that friendly dynamic where everyone talks to each other, which trust me is beneficial, you need to make that introduction. We do team meetings where we reward chatters for contributing, and we get different chatters to lead different meetings depending on what they're about. Speaking of which, we assign authority to chatters. We look at chatters that excel in certain things. Maybe it's selling customs, maybe it's sexting or building relationships, whatever it may be. And when chatters have questions about that stuff, we will refer them to that chatter of authority. That way everyone learns off each other and the whole agency benefits. We do group projects. Last week I did a video on how to write your own sexting scripts, and for it we included 6 sexting scripts. You can see it there, but I got my chatters to help me with that and I rewarded them for it. If there's a big spender who wants to buy something crazy, like a $5,000, $10,000 custom, different chatters will work on it together to close the sale and split the money. We gamify the agency. There's competitions, different bonuses, different incentives that we change depending on what will just make it the most competitive, the most fun. All these things take effort, but it means, one, chatters will improve each other. They'll go to each other for help rather than just blowing your inbox up, and your life will be less hellish. New chatters will learn much faster because the existing chatters will help them. Not to mention the chatters will just care about the agency doing well. They'll think more big picture because they genuinely want everyone to do well. I do this, and what I have to show for it is a chatter has never left my agency willingly. Yes, I fired people, but no one has ever wanted to leave. I made sure to build an environment that attracts good talent, and everything else will follow. Mistake 5. One size fits all training. Trying to train all your chatters the exact same way. A Word document and a daily screaming session is not enough to train your chatters. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but even agencies with highly regimented training systems can get this wrong. They've got one course, one way of training chatters, they put them all through the same thing, and that's that. About a year ago, I was speaking with this guy. He has his own chatting agency. I think he's from Serbia or something like that. At that time, he had, say, 30 or 40 chatters, and he told me that if he sees someone has a really bad shift, way below KPI, he will personally get them on a meeting, talk to them, going, do you need anything from us? Like, how can we help you? What went wrong? Obviously, managers can do that too, but there's this heavy emphasis on this one-on-one training style. And he's doing multiple 7 figures a month. So if your agency is a 1/10 of the size and you're not doing that, different chatters learn in different ways. In our agency, we do chat reviews, videos going through the chat logs, giving them feedback, one-on-one meetings, one-to-many meetings with multiple chatters where they can share ideas. And we ask chatters all the time if they need any specific resources made, and we will make it for them. It's like any workplace. Different people learn in different ways. Some people want to ask heaps of questions, some people ask none. Some people need to be shown how to do something, some people need to do it themselves. Some people work well under pressure, some people don't. You need to take these things into account if you want your chatters to be top tier. I just find it funny that people have no problem going above and beyond for their clients, their creators, doing all these different marketing strategies. But the people that literally work for you, you just palm them off, give them a Word document and that's all. Pour effort into your staff, get them trained up as well as you possibly can. That is your business. If you really want to do well for your clients, that's how you do it. If you've been watching this going, wow, I actually do a lot of those things, I've got an entire video all about how to train your OnlyFans chatters. It's actually my best performing video of all time, so watch that. That's there. Enjoy the rest of your day.